Ryan he just kind of referenced Reggie as, we're going to miss him out there. Kind of made it sound like he wasn't going to be available. Is that the case?
Well, we're still kind of waiting to see.
Yeah.
I don't think for sure. We you know how this stuff goes. You never really know. But he's probably not going to practice tomorrow, and we'll. And I would say it'll be day by day until we get to Friday, and then we'll make a decision.
It's not. What do you know? What the injury is? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's got just a foot injury. You know what I'm saying? And so it's we're just kind of trying to evaluate, see how serious it is. I mean, it's swollen and sore right now. But, you know how it goes.
Saw a lot of Brian Holloway after Delano Robinson went out last week after the targeting call. But not much of Shane Haley. I was wondering how he's doing.
Yeah, Shane's doing fine. I mean, Shane's had a little bit of a hip issue that's kind of kept him from probably, moving around as well as he wants to. It's been one of those things that's kind of lingered for a while. But Shane's done a good job for us. I mean, nobody works any harder than Shane. He's got a great attitude, and he's doing a good job for us. It's just a matter of him, getting 100% healthy so he can, go out and compete at a high level.
You spoke after the Houston game about how your team performed coming off of a short week. Now you've got a longer week with a few extra days. How has that altered your plan, your preparation for Saturday?
Yeah, what we did is we kind of we adopted a little bit of the same schedule we adopted for the Temple week. What we did that week is we practiced on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we treated Thursday game as like a Thursday practice. So we gave our players Friday and Saturday off, and then Sunday was a jump start on the week. It was a Tuesday practice for us, and so we did the same thing this week. So last night was a Tuesday. Today's a day off, and then tomorrow will be a Wednesday, and then Wednesday will be a little lighter version of a Friday. I mean, a little heavier version of a Friday. And so it just gives our guys an opportunity to come into the game maybe a little more fresh than they would have been otherwise. Obviously, gives us one extra day of preparation, a little bit more time to get through, some of the important things in preparation, third down and red zone and special plays and that kind of thing. So, when you have an extra day, it's one of those situations where, you want to use it the best you can, but at the same time you have to get your players to the game as fresh as they possibly can be. So, those are decisions that we talk all the time about. We get input from our players. We have GPS on the players, so we know how far guys have run in practice. It's really a kind of a collective decision between our strength and conditioning coaches and our staff on how long are we going to push guys and what's the practice schedule going to be. So we felt like we played pretty well that week of the Temple game, so we're going to adopt the same schedule this week.
You usually like to get. I noticed you guys get onto the field later than most teams. Is that something you've always kind of done?
Talk about pregame?
Yeah, you usually get on to like.
Yeah, I mean, we get to the stadium later than most people. Some people get there 3 hours before a game. We try to get there less than 2 hours before. So our guys take a little bit of time to get ready. So it's just all kind of our philosophy on, what we do on game day. The hardest thing for players to do is just sit around the hotel. And so we try to limit them sitting around the locker room as much as possible, especially on the road because, you're in these visitor locker rooms and you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes the air conditioning doesn't work or the heater doesn't work or there's not enough room for people to sit. And so, our deal is always let's get to the stadium late, we'll get dressed, we'll go out a little bit later than most people and come back in and talk to them and go play. So it's just a little bit different philosophy.
Now that you're in your second go-around, how much of your preparation when you're facing a team for the second time is based on reviewing what worked last year and how much is simply refining what you've done so far this year?
Well, it always, every team is different and it always depends. Memphis changed defensive coordinators, so there'll be a little bit of an adjustment there. So, when you lose somebody, then you have a little bit different scheme, and they're doing things that are similar to what they did last year, but a little bit different as well. So, the preparation's similar, but not the same. Players come and go. So it's all about, just trying to maximize what you do well, trying to play to your strengths, as you start putting the game plan together.
Sonny, how about for this program and this conference to be featured on a over-the-air channel and in a primetime slot, and how much do you enjoy that moment?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's good for our fans. Certainly good for the conference. I think the American Conference is a lot better than people think. So anytime you can get two really good football teams playing against each other and everybody in the country gets to see it, then I think it opens people's eyes. You go back and you look at I remember watching the Temple Central Florida game last year. It was a really good ball game. I remember watching Central Florida, Memphis in the championship games, and when I wasn't in this conference, and I remember watching those games going, wow, those are two really good football teams playing each other. And so I think that happens. For us, it's obviously a step in the right direction. I think it's, you don't get to play in these kind of games unless you've had some level of success, and so, that's nice. But at the end of the day, and we talk to our players about this all the time, I mean, it's what happens between the lines that matter, and, all the other stuff doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who said what or who did what or who's watching the game, if there's 100,000 people there, if there's 100 there. I mean, look, I coached at Navarro Junior College, and we played in front of 5 or 6 people sometimes back then, and it was just important to the players or to the coaches is this game's going to be on Saturday. I mean, it's just the way our profession works, and so it's a big game, but it's a great opportunity for us, and it'll be a challenge, but we're excited about it.
All the media responsibilities that go with that, trying to give ESPN all they want for their game day show. I mean, how much does it complicate things for you?
Well, the good thing is I've been through it before. We when I was at Cal, we got to, I think, 6-0 one year, 5-1 or something, and played Utah on College game day. And so, having gone through it before, you have a little bit of an idea what to expect. The big thing is you want to try to limit this stuff for the players. I'm accustomed to it. I've been in kind of big media markets in the past, or I was in California and obviously now in Dallas, and so it's not that big of an adjustment for me. I think it is a little bit different for the players, but at the same time, you try to get their stuff done early in the week and then just get them on to focusing on football, and that's our schedule this week. So it's different. It's different, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for us to sell our program, to a national audience, and certainly. We're going to take advantage of it.
Do you have to worry about the players getting too hyped up for a game like this?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I think the thing about it is, look, this is week 9. It's been a long season. We've been at this now for 2.5 months, and so everybody's a little bit worn out this time of the year, and are really going on 3 months. And so, the thing you try to get your players to do is to focus on what's important. You know what I mean? Whether it's, like I said, whether it's a game like this that you're real excited about, or whether you're playing an opponent that on paper doesn't look particularly good. And, in order to keep winning ball games, we've got to make sure that we focus on doing our job and doing it well and playing hard and being consistent and, creating turnovers and taking care of the ball and all the things that have been our formula so far for winning football games, and not get caught up in the other stuff.
You always talk about your team focusing on what it does, but you obviously do scout your opponents. So
Yeah.
when you look at Memphis, what concerns you or impresses you the most about them?
Yeah. I mean, I think you've got a lot of experience there. When you look at their offense, quarterback's very experienced. They got an offensive line, I think it's playing at a really high level. They got really good skill players offensively. I think the running back is probably as good as there is in college football. I mean, the statistics don't lie. You look at what he does week in, week out. Look at his big plays. They split him out and get him matched up on linebackers and safeties and throw him the ball. I mean, they're real creative in using him. He's a really dynamic athlete, that can catch the ball, that can run the ball. He's fast, he's elusive, he's physical. He's kind of does all 3 of those things really well. Where most guys will do 1 or 2 of them, he's usually, if you're big, then you're strong, then you're not real fast, you're not real elusive. Well, he's strong and he's elusive. He can make people miss, and he's got great speed. And so, he's kind of got all 3 of the intangibles that you look for from a running back, or all 3 of the characteristics you look for from a running back. And so, he's a complete guy. And like I said, they do a good job of utilizing him. So that's where it starts for us. And defensively, they run the ball well, they tackle well, they're well coached, they play hard, play physical. And so it's a really good football team, and then they're very good on special teams. Probably the best team we've played this year on teams.
You mentioned the running back Gainwell. Who replicates him in practice for you?
This week Ulysses Bentley will, and so Ulysses has a similar type of skill set. And I wouldn't say Ulysses is there yet, but he he's kind of the same build and same body type and same kind of speed.